Welcome learners, this is the second part of the previous lecture, that is rural targeting and positioning. Having discussed how to target specific segments in the rural market, we now move to closely related concept of positioning. Once you have decided who to target, positioning is about how you want those target customers to perceive your product relative to competitors. It's the art and science of creating a specific image or identity for your product, brand, or organization in the minds of your audience. The ultimate goal is to make your offering stand out by emphasizing what makes it different and ideally better than the alternatives based on attributes that truly matter to the consumer. The process of positioning involves three core steps. First, you must identify your product's unique selling proposition or USP, what genuinely makes it different. Second, you need to choose which of these differences are most important to highlight, focusing on those that customers value and provide a competitive advantage. Finally, and crucially, you must effectively communicate these chosen advantages to your target audiences through all your marketing efforts. To aid in understanding how customers currently view the market, marketers often use a perceptual map. This visual tool plots brands based on key attributes, helping to identify where your brand stands and where potential opportunities might lie. Why is positioning so critical, especially in competitive markets? Customers tend to group brands based on perceived value points, common combinations of features they appreciate. If you can identify a gap or an unoccupied space on the perceptual map, a combination of attributes that customers desire but no competitor is effectively providing, you have found a powerful positioning opportunity. The success story of Ghadi detergent is a perfect example. They identified a gap in the rural market for a detergent perceived as both high quality and low cost, positioning themselves successfully against established players. If the market seems saturated with no obvious gaps, the challenge then becomes more strategic to potentially create a new value dimension or benefit that competitors haven't focused on. Ultimately, smart positioning helps your brand becomes memorable and preferred. To decide how to position your product effectively, you first need to understand the consumer's purchase motivations. What drives their choice? Based on this understanding, marketers can choose from several approaches or concepts to differentiate their offering and create that unique position in the customer's mind. The main basis for differentiation, which we will explore, include the product itself, the associated services, and the people representing the brand and the overall brand image. First, let's look at product differentiation. This is perhaps the most common approach where positioning is based on the tangible aspects of the product itself, its features, performance, quality, design, or form. In the rural context, we have seen effective examples like Coca-Cola introducing the Chhota Coke at the very affordable price point to overcome budget constraints. Hero Honda launched the Dawn motorcycle specifically designed and priced for the rural buyer. Furthermore, recognizing the rural customers' trust In traditional and natural remedies, brands like Colgate launched herbal variants, and others like Mishwak and Neem built with entire positioning around natural ingredients. These examples highlight how tailoring product features specifically around affordability and natural appeal can be a powerful positioning strategy in rural market. Beyond the product itself, differentiation can be achieved through service. This involves highlighting aspects like faster or more convenient delivery, better installation, superior customer support, and longer warranties. Reliance Gas, for example, carved out a space in the competitive LPG market by focusing on better service than incumbents, building customer loyalty even at slightly higher prices. Another powerful approach is people differentiation. Here, the advantage comes from the people representing the brand. This could be through better trained staff or commonly through celebrity endorsement. Using figures respected by target audience like Amir Khan connecting with rural customers for Coke or Shah Rukh Khan lending credibility to Sona Chandi Chawanprash can significantly enhance a brand's relatability and trustworthiness. Finally, companies can use image differentiation even when competing products are very similar in function and quality. A strong brand image can create a powerful distinction. This image is carefully crafted through consistent use of logos, symbols, colors, packaging styles, advertising themes, and the overall feel associated with the brand. A positive and distinct image appeals to consumers on an emotional level, building trust and loyalty often beyond tangible product features. People tend to gravitate towards brands they are reorganize and feel good about. Now that we have seen various ways to differentiate through product, service, people, or image, the critical task is selecting the specific positioning concept that will be most effective for your brand in your target market. You can't emphasize everything. Focus is key. The chosen concept should act like a bridge, clearly communicating to the target customers what your brand stands for, why it's different, and why that difference should matter to them. It must resonate with the audience and provide a compelling reason to choose your product over others. When selecting and evaluating your positioning concept, several criteria should be met for it to be truly effective. First, is it attractive? The positioning must highlight a benefit or value that the target customer genuinely cares about. If the customers doesn't see the relevance or usefulness, the positioning will fail. Second, is it distinctive? Your highlighted difference must be clearly noticeable compared to competitors. If you blend in, you won't be remembered or chosen. Third, is it preemptive? The best positioning claims are those that competitors cannot easily replicate. If your unique advantage can be copied overnight, its strategic value diminishes quickly. Think about building on strengths like long term service, reputation, or proprietary technology. Continuing with our criteria, the positioning must also be affordable. This means two things. The customer must be able to afford the product at the price point reflecting the positioned value, and the company must be able to afford implementing the positioning strategy. A premium positioning requires a premium price that the target segment is willing and able to pay. Lastly, is it communicable? The chosen difference or advantage must be easily explained and understood by the target audience. Complexity breeds confusion. The benefit should ideally be visible or easily experienced. Thus, selecting right positioning involves identifying product attributes or service qualities that offer a real, sustainable, competitive edge, are highly attractive to customers, distinctive, preemptive, affordable, and easily communicable. Getting this right is fundamental to building a strong, memorable, and successful brand in any market, including the diverse rural landscape. Once a promising positioning strategy has been selected, the next crucial phase is to develop the concept. This means translating that strategy into a tangible message and presentation that will resonate effectively with your target customers. It involves carefully shaping the idea so the audience clearly understands what your brand represents and why it's the right choice for them. This development requires explaining the concept clearly and simply, ensuring its relevance to the needs. It also involves choosing the right communication channels to actually reach your audience, be it traditional media like TV and radio or digital platforms, depending on where your target customers are most active. Furthermore, effective positioning often connects both logically by highlighting benefits and emotionally by evoking feelings like trust and security. The aim is to craft a message that truly aligns with the target audience's world. After carefully developing the positioning concept, the task shifts to communicating it effectively. A brilliant positioning strategy is useless if it isn't conveyed clearly to the intended audiences. Good communication serves the answer three fundamental questions in the customer's mind. First, who is this product intended for? Clarifying the target market. Secondly, what specific benefit or value does it offer me? Outlining the value proposition. And thirdly, why should I choose this over other options? Highlighting the key points of differentiation. Getting these messages across clearly is vital for the positioning to take hold. A key decision in communication strategy is deciding how many ideas or benefits to emphasize. Should you focus intensely on a single major differentiator or highlight two or more, perhaps three key advantages? While sometimes a single powerful message is best, research suggests that in rural markets, promoting two or three benefits can often be more effective. This approach can make consumers feel they are getting more value for their money, which is frequently a critical factor in their purchase decisions. For instance, promoting a soap as being affordable, long lasting, and good for the skin covers multiple desirable attributes. However, there is a crucial caution: you must maintain clarity and consistency. Trying to communicate too many things or changing your core message frequently can lead to customer confusion, erode trust, and dilute your brand's identity. Therefore, focus on a select few strong, easily remembered points and stick to them. When communicating positioning specifically to rural audiences, certain approaches tend to be more effective. The emphasis should be generally be more basic core benefits that are easily relatable to everyday life. The language used must be simple, direct, and readily understandable, avoiding complex terminology or overly technical features that might not resonate. Consider these classic examples: Sprite's slogan "Bujhaye only pyas" Baki sab bakwas directly translates to only quenches thirst, everything else is nonsense. It's incredibly direct, focuses on the core benefit of thirst quenching and uses colloquial languages. Similarly, Thanda matlab Coca Cola, meaning cold drink means Coca Cola, powerfully equates the entire category benefits with the brand name. These slogans succeed because they are short, catchy, unambiguous, and address our primary needs or desire in a way that connects instantly with the audience. This directness and simplicity are often key to effective communication in rural markets. Let's quickly summarize the key learnings from this lecture on targeting and positioning in rural markets. We begin by understanding that after segmenting the market, targeting involves a systematic process. This includes evaluating the attractiveness and suitability for each segment based on factors like size, growth potential, and profitability, alongside the company's own objectives and resources. Based on this evaluation, segments are selected. Then a coverage strategy is chosen, either undifferentiated, differentiated, or concentrated, depending on factors like company resources and market variability. Following targeting, we explored positioning, the critical task of establishing a clear and unique place for your product in the minds of your target rural customers, ensuring it stands out from the competition. We discussed various positioning strategies, leveraging differentiation through product attributes, service quality, people like celebrity endorsements, and the overall brand image. Finally, we covered the importance of developing and communicating the chosen positioning concept effectively, using simple, relevant, and often emotionally resonant messages delivered through appropriate channels. Particularly in rural context, communication should be straightforward, focusing on core benefits like value, quality, and utility. Ultimately, mastering both targeting and positioning is fundamental for building meaningful connections with rural customers and achieving sustainable businesses. Particularly in rural context, communication should be straightforward, focusing on core benefits like value, quality, and utility. Ultimately, mastering both targeting and positioning is fundamental for building meaningful connections with rural consumers and achieving sustainable business success in these vital markets. Dear students, we will be meeting in next lecture. Thank you.